I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor, and we have breaking news. Alright, so this is the situation we have right here. Ladies and gentlemen, Estelle is now a hurricane. I repeat, Estelle is now a hurricane. This is the 5th hurricane out of 6 named systems in the Pacific. I don't think I've ever seen that before, this early in the season. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and get to the public advisory right here. Estelle is rapidly intensifying, and maximum sustained winds have increased to near 80 miles an hour. Last advisory, it was at 70 miles per hour, and it was a tropical storm. And the NHC is now saying this thing's rapidly intensifying. This thing's now expected to become a major hurricane by tomorrow night, and it's expected to start to kind of stagnate and start weakening on Tuesday. But before it does, it's going to continue its rapid intensification phase, and we're going to be covering it all here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel, so be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, let's get to the more technical standpoint right here. Hurricane force winds extend out 10 miles from the center, so this thing is still kind of a smaller system, but still it's evolving, it's growing, it's doing what it's doing, and tropical storm force winds now extend out 70 miles from the center. It was 60, now it's 70. The pressure has fallen to 988 millibars. It was at 994 earlier, now it's at 988. So it's resuming that 1 millibar per hour drop after it kind of took a break, and now it's starting to drop again. And the interesting thing is that this thing's happening during the night, and hurricanes tend to intensify quicker during the night because the sun, it kind of limits its intensification because it kind of limits how cold the cloud tops get. But after that sun starts setting, there's no limit to this except for how high it gets. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the cone. Major hurricane status expected either late Sunday or early Monday, and then it's going to start slowly weakening and down to a hurricane, then a tropical storm by Thursday. We will be covering it all right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the track models as well. It's pretty much the same area as the cone. Some models have this moving more towards the west after day 5. So this is an interesting situation we will still have to pay attention to. Now the intensity models. The intensity models, majority of them have them going up to Category 2 status, but we're having an increasing amount going up to major hurricane status, including the National Hurricane Center. They have designated that this is going to be a major hurricane. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the models. We're going to take a look at the HMON, the HWRF, and the GFS for you guys. The HMON model right here is an interesting run, mostly because this thing kind of just explodes in intensification and just ends up bottoming out around 975 millibars as either a low-end Category 2 or high-end Category 1. And then it starts stagnating and slowly weakening as time goes on. Eventually, basically starting a weakening trend in the next few days before losing hurricane status, likely in the next 4 days. And then it starts to lose its steam as it's moving through those cooler waters and it's moving through those that higher wind shear area. Now, if we take a look at the GFS, this is also extremely interesting right here. This thing really ramps up in intensity. It eventually bottoms out at 965 millibars right here. Actually, no, 963 millibars as either a high-end Cat 2 or low-end Category 3 hurricane right here. Then it kind of starts stagnating and slowly weakening as time goes on. But if we take a look at this, 963 millibars at right here, and this is in the next 2.5 days right here. So this thing could be really, honestly, I could see both ways in this. Either this thing's going to strengthen at a constant pace in the next 48 hours, or it's going to strengthen at a very rapid pace in the next 24 hours, both of which are equally possible, and we will be covering it here. Now let's go ahead and get to the HWRF, and I kid you not, this is once again the most aggressive model out of these. So with the HWRF, they're having this thing bottoming at just dropping in pressure, eventually bottoming out at 959 millibars right here as likely a Category 3 hurricane at this point, according to the HWRF, and then this thing likely undergoes an eyeball replacement cycle and starts expanding in size. And then it starts to slowly it starts to try to re-strengthen again, and then it starts slowly weakening as time goes on. and eventually losing hurricane status likely in the next 6 days. So this is a situation. The H-Wharf, if we take a look at the evolution of this, once again, this is a really small hurricane originally, and it gradually gets larger, likely due to an eyewall replacement cycle. For those of you who do not know what those do, essentially it's when the outer eyewall takes out all the energy and basically just siphons it off of the inner eyeball, and it just kills it. But what it also does is it expands it greatly in size, and if that ERC does not go very well, it can knock its intensity down 20 to 30 miles per hour. We saw that with Hurricane Sam back in 2021. After rapidly intensifying to a high-end Category 4 hurricane with winds of 155 miles per hour, it underwent an eyewall replacement cycle, and it went so badly that it ended up knocking its intensity from 955 down in, from 155 down to 120 millibars. The pressure went up from 929 to 955 millibars. So that's how bad these ERCs can really go. But with that being said, we're going to continue to update you guys as the situation progresses, and that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps me out. It helps me make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather. But with that being said, guys, have a wonderful day. Stay safe.